photographers, thank you for checking out my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how I got started in elopements and how I made that to be my full-time job. It wasn't easy, but there was a couple steps that I did that I think helped jumpstart me into elopements going full-time. Before, I was doing weddings for about maybe 2 or 3 years before that until I did my first elopement. When I did my first elopement, which actually was here in Lake Powell, Arizona, I couldn't believe it. I remember I was coming back from the boat ride and thinking to myself, I can't believe people do this. I can't believe people can actually get married wherever they want to get married. And that idea was just so, I don't know, it just like completely filled me with adrenaline. I'm like, this is, I think, what I want to do. Not that I don't love weddings, but there's something different about elopements, and there's something different about a couple being able to break away from the traditional and kind of restricted timeline of a wedding and be able to do what they want and to go where they want. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about kind of how to get started, how I got started, and some tips and tricks to help you guys get started as well. So tip number one, the first thing that I did was I was already shooting weddings, and kind of a pro tip on how to get started doing weddings is start second shooting for a photographer. If you haven't shot any weddings before, that's totally fine. Find local wedding photographers in your area that match your style and reach out to them and just say, hey, I would love to second shoot for you whenever you have a chance. You might have to start off doing it for free, but eventually, and it's pretty soon, you should be getting paid second shooting for those weddings. Second thing is, when you are shooting weddings, you already built that relationship with your client. Your client already likes you. They already love your work. They hired you for your work and for your services. So you already have that trust with them. One thing that I started doing with clients was I started offering free adventure sessions. An adventure session, if you don't know, is just a shoot where you're outdoors sometime after your wedding, where the couple gets back in their wedding attire and they go shoot. So I started offering free adventure sessions with my packages, where I would take my couple to outdoors. I'm in Arizona, so I took them to Sedona, to Flagstaff, to Page, even to California and New Mexico, just so I can get that content. And soon after I started doing those more and more, I had actual content to show on my Instagram and my social media that says, hey, I like doing stuff outdoors. I want to shoot weddings outdoors. Here are some examples of what yours could look like. So I think that's one good way to start, is start offering those adventure sessions or building those into your packages. And even if it's not existing wedding clients, if you're not shooting any weddings right now, get anyone you can that has wedding attire and go out there and go shoot. Really, people just want to see what it could look like. And you can fill in the blanks from there later on. But first you need to start getting that content showing, because the best way to attract what you want to get is to put it out there. So put out what you want to get in return and you'll be right as rain. Pro tip number two is to do styled shoots. A styled shoot is basically a couple that you get in a setting that you want, wearing the attire that you're looking for, doing what you want them to do. It's basically your marketing, your own custom marketing to put out there to the world. So again, back to pro tip number one, if you want to attract the things that you want, you have to put out what you're looking for. So styled shoots is a great way to do it. It's a great resource for you to get some more content to showcase on your social media and your website. Styled shoots can be super easy, and you can make them as simple or as intricate as you want them to be. Really, it's just getting the content and the footage that you're looking for so you can display that, you can market at your own business and say, hey everyone, look what I can do, look what I can, you know, operate and shoot for you. This is what your elopement could look like. So how to get started with styled shoots is, one, you need a couple, and it could be anyone. It doesn't even have to be a married couple. It's just a couple that are, you know, willing to go in front of your camera, even if it's for free, put on wedding attire and just having fun with you shooting. And that's basically it. So everything else, if you have resources to go to your local dress shop and to rent a couple dresses for them to wear, if the guy already has a suit, then you're already halfway there. Everything else is in addition. So if you want to do a picnic setup, if you want to do some sort of rentals with a table and chairs and flowers behind them. That's all added extra. But one thing that's really easy to accomplish is to get that couple in wedding attire in your favorite outdoor spot where you can shoot them. This is also great practice in how couples and shooting outdoors is going to be like. When you're outside and you're not in a venue, you're not in a controlled setting where there's AC or there's heat or there's 4 walls and there's a bathroom. You have to kind of adapt to be accustomed to shooting outside as much as you can. So this is great practice for you to know how to operate in certain elements. If it's rainy, if it's breezy, if it's cloudy, if it's sunny, the more you can shoot, the more you're outside and the more you're shooting, the better off you're going to be and the better equipped you are going to be to shooting these elopements later on. So what you can do is find a couple, pick a location, get their wedding attire. If you want to do florals, that's great. That's an added bonus. And then go outside and just start shooting. So you can showcase to everyone and say, hey everyone, this is what your elopement can look like. Hire me, I got you. All right, pro tip number 3. If you have wedding photos, post them as elopement photos for your social media. Again, if you want to start shooting elopements and you want to start shooting elopements exclusively, you have to put out there on your website that, hey, this is all I do. You have to be the subject matter expert of that. That way that couple trusts you. Photographers have definitely offered both, where they offer both weddings and elopements. But when it comes down to it, when a couple's deciding between you and someone who just shoots elopement specifically and exclusively, they're likely to go towards them because they're the subject matter expert for that service. So if you're looking to shoot just elopements, I highly recommend you just putting that on your website and your socials. Hey, I shoot elopements, come hire me. So if you already have wedding photos and if you already have content from weddings, every single wedding is going to have the bride and groom portraits and getting ready stuff and details. You can still post that as elopements on your website. Just cut out everyone that else is around. Don't include any wedding party, don't include any family members, or if they do, very few. But you can use those photos to make it look like it's elopements. Pro tip number 4. If you've been shooting weddings for a little bit, then you're going to be having those anniversary sessions kind of coming up with your couples. So again, offering the couples an adventure session, whether it's paid or it's free to get that content, is going to be good. Take them out. Take them on what would be an elopement, but just in their wedding attire. You already built that connection with that couple. You already have their trust. They're already comfortable with you. They already know that you're going to give them a great gallery. So offer them an anniversary session where you go outdoors, do all the fun things that you normally would see in an elopement, whether it's having a picnic in the middle of the forest, or taking pictures on the beach or a cliffside, or going on an excursion like an ATV ride or zip lining, or trashing the dress with jumping into the pool or something like that. You can still get that same content, but with a couple that you already have. Again, it's all about building that content and building as much as you can and getting that practice so you can start putting it out there in your social media and your website. Your couple is going to love you for it because they're going to get another great gallery from you, and you're also going to like it too because you're going to have that elopement feel for your website and your social media. All right, and pro tip number 5 is to get a mentor. I think having a mentor and someone to just be able to talk to is going to be a world of difference to you, because you might have some simple questions or some complicated questions that you want to ask someone that's experienced. I'm a firm believer that if you surround yourself with the people that you can learn from, that are better than you at what you're doing, you're just going to keep learning and growing from them. So one big thing is to get a mentor. I offer mentorships. I know a lot of photographers offer mentorships. So find someone that you like, find someone that you aspire to be like, that 1 is seasoned, that 2 shoots the same style that you like, and 3, someone that you can just talk to and just say, hey, I'm new, I want to get into elopements, how can I get into it? So I actually got a mentor pretty early on in my elopement career. I just wanted to sit down and to talk to someone who I respected, who I liked their work, who I saw produced really cool stuff, and I just had a Q&A with him. And I just said, hey, here are my simple questions. We just basically did a Q&A. Here are my questions of how do you get ideal clients? How do you get published? How do you pose your clients? How is your workflow? Just because I felt like I knew what to do, but I needed that reassurance from someone else who's been doing it for a long time to say, yeah, you're on the right track, or here's what you can do, or here's what you can tweak. So Again, if you're looking for a mentor, you can reach out to me or reach out to your local photographer. I think it's also kind of helpful too to go along with them if you can to an elopement. So if there's an elopement photographer in your area that's looking for a second shooter, jump on that, because it's so important to get as much exposure to it as you possibly can. So I would say that's my last tip on how I got started and how I think it's best for you to get started with shooting elopements full time. Thank you guys for checking out the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.